Hello, it's Dimas here. I'm a PhD student that still try to finish my PhD. I also author for several publications in structural vector autoregressions, and today I want to discuss a bit as part of my series in my blog that I see it getting some attention, and I think it's worth to review back and give much more strong easy explanations in a very simple way. So what is the difference between vector autoregressions and structural vector autoregression, or there are also another people who discuss which is QVAR. So basically in vector autoregression, this is the method in econometrics when you try to put autoregression of the one of, for example, let's say two variables, and you want to see the impact of the luck or the previous point on your variable on previous year to the current state on the situation. The same thing with like you want to see like whether the impact from, like two variables here, like let's say A and B, on impacting the current A and B. So A have a strong impact to the A, and B in the past also have strong impact to the A, and happen also the vice versa. So that's how the concept on vector autoregressions. This is the simple terms. The other thing, it's called structural vector autoregression. So what's the difference? In structural vector autoregression, you try to put more constraint, or you try to put more limitation or more rules on you guessing the vector autoregression. And why it's important in some of the studies, especially like economic study. So let's say like this: if you use vector autoregressions for your study in economics, and if, for example, you try to see the impact of interest rate one side, and the impact of regulation regarding with limit on borrowing on some banks to the, for example, the level of one of the indicator of economic stability. For example, you want to see inflations. When you use vector autoregressions, they will not put any model whether the impact happened on the previous quarter, or 2 quarters before, or 3 quarters before, or 4 quarters before, because vector autoregression basically will just pull all the data from the previous data impacting to the current state of the situation. So the interest rate from previous quarter, or 2 quarter, or 3 quarter, or 5 quarter before, it will not be differentiated on the impact of the current inflations today. The same thing like how the impact of, for example, constraint or limitation on borrowing on the bank on the current state of inflation. So there will be not so much different. That's the issue when we use vector autoregression. With structured vector autoregression, or svar, it's a bit different, because then you will start to put some how to call it, pointer, or something that can tell you the differences. For example, if you put only one leg or 1 quarter data before, the model is changing when compared to if you put like leg of for 2 quarter, 3 quarter, 4 quarter. So the data or the model will, the autoregression model will start to get like bigger and bigger. So for example, in structural vector autoregression, it will also get helped by impulse response, that you could see if the data from, for example, 2 quarter ago, it's much stronger in impacting the current state of inflations compared with the data, for example, from 4 quarter ago. So it's giving you kind of idea that if you want to implement in economics, if you want to implement some policy, you will know from the information of your research how long you need to wait. And that's the idea of structural factor autoregression. I hope this explains somehow in a simple term on the difference between factor autoregression and structural factor autoregression. Okay, thank you. I hope it helps, and keep following on this channel for the next update on this topic and what point that it's actually more important for you to put attention on such modeling of factor autoregression or structural factor autoregression. Thank you.